So the next section is the best TV shows of 2016. We went out of order.
Yeah.
Everybody was
That's
sorry.
Now, before we get into the nitty gritty, what I don't think we ever established what's the criteria, because we have TV shows that start in the end of one year and go into the are we going from are we doing Arrow season 4 and Flash season 2, or are we doing Arrow up until the halfway point of this year? That I don't think we established that.
I'd say up until the half point of this year.
Okay, so do we want
so like the newest season?
Okay.
I'm about to say you can't leave the newest season out because we've already been hit by so many turns and.
Just be careful. He hasn't seen.
Oh, I
it.
know.
Yeah. So okay.
Yeah,
I will mute you,
I will
Robbie.
murder.
No,
I will mute you in real life.
no, I'm just saying we've seen a lot of big things happening in all
Yeah.
of these shows.
Yeah. Okay, so for the polls, we have Stranger Things coming in as the undisputed champion on that
At
one.
12.
And then Westworld at 6.
I need to get Netflix. That's all I'm going to say.
Marvel's Daredevil at 6, tying with Westworld.
People forget season 2 of Daredevil came out in April.
Yeah,
and it was
that's-
great.
Again,
The Flash coming in at 4th. Marvel's Luke Cage right behind that. DC's Legends of Tomorrow beating Arrow. I don't think people saw that down there, but
Yeah.
whatever. And then Supergirl and Better Call Saul. And one that I'm just going to add, House of Cards, season 4.
I need
I
to see,
forgot about
I
that.
need to see the new season. I haven't seen the new season
You're
yet.
missing out.
I need to watch that show, period.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
only
you need
ones
you need
that-
to watch it at least. Yeah,
Yeah, House of Cards is absolutely
4?
amazing.
Fantastic.
because I know Zach, you touched on it in the beginning, but both you and I are the same in the fact that we hate talking about politics, and watching a show on politics was against my religion. But after because I think we started watching it at David's one time, and when we both saw it, we were like, all right, now we're intrigued. So
We got called out Walking Dead. I don't think any of us at this table watch Walking Dead.
I do.
No.
You do?
Yeah,
We both do.
I'll be honest with you without
Okay.
spoiling anything. After the initial, have you guys seen any seasons, or at least the latest?
Yeah,
ones?
I've watched up to like 3 or 4 into season 4.
Okay,
I've watched
well,
up to the end of 3.
Okay, well, season 6. I'll just say this without spoiling. There's a big villain from the comic books brought in, and there's a big death scene, or there's a big cliffhanger death scene. From
Well,
one
you
of the
could find
cast.
it on Facebook 5 minutes.
They
after.
already
Yeah.
know who died.
Yeah, I've already
Yeah,
watched.
I've
Oh,
already,
okay.
I already
I've
know.
seen
Okay, so, well,
it
I'm not
broken
gonna-
down
I'm not gonna
frame by
spoil-
frame.
I'm not going to spoil it for the listeners who haven't caught up yet. But
Good
pretty
luck.
much after the initial of the season premiere this year, the ratings have declined terribly.
Yeah.
It's pretty much I know we haven't seen this slow pace of Walking Dead since I think season 4 or 5, where it just trudges along and the plot point just gets drawn out. Now, Negan is the big bad, and he's pretty much one of the most iconic comic book villains in the comic book series for Walking Dead. A lot of people are upset with Jeffrey Dean Morgan because of his portrayal. He gets into it too much, and I can understand some of the argument for that fact, in the sense that you can tell when he goes overboard a little too much. But I love it because censoring this. There was an article that he got when he got the call from his agent saying, "Hey, you're getting cast as a big role in Walking Dead," and he's like, "Is it freaking Negan?" And they're like, because they weren't told, and they were like, "We're gonna have to get back to you on that one." He's like, "No, it's freaking Negan, and I'm freaking doing it," and just his passion you can see translate. And yes, does that translate into a little bit overboard? Yeah, you're gonna get a little overboard when you're doing something that you love to do.
Yeah.
But I've absolutely loved his performance from beginning to end. But as far as the rest of the season is concerned, it's very trudge. It pretty much took a lot of what I had to watch the mid-season finale a few weeks ago.
And that's what Walking Dead is big on. The premiere was one of the highest watched on Walking Dead, but it does beginning huge, trudge, slow.
You said it wrong. It's huge.
Huge.
And then season the mid-season premiere, something bad happens, and then slow. Season finale, big, and then that's Walking Dead.
Guys,
yeah.
I don't think you understand the show. It's in the title. It is the Walking Dead,
Yeah.
not the Running Dead.
That's a very valid point. So, but I'll get off that tangent. But Walking Dead, is it worthy of being like nominated? Yes, but is it one of the better TV shows I saw this year? No.
Yeah, I think after season 2, it's definitely declined. It's like Call of Duty, in my opinion.
I
It's the
mean,
Call of Duty of the TV world.
yes,
It's got a big following, but it's not doing the different and new things that other TV shows like Stranger Things is doing.
I mean, I agree with that, but I mean, when you've had a show as long as it, or when you have a show like this that's been on the air as long as this, I mean, Supernatural's kind of broken the mold on that a little bit, but you will hit some ups and downs. But to kind of counterpoint you, like when the Governor came in season 3, I think it was still at a somewhat of a high point, but then when it got into season 4 on, like once the Governor was gone, that's when it started going down for me.
I think once they, spoilers, whatever, once they destroyed, the whole town and everything,
Yeah.
and he went crazy, and then he went away and all of that.
Yeah.
That was the end of Walking Dead actually being a show that I would even want to watch.
Right.
So it is what it is. I understand people that follow it. I understand people that really enjoy it. It's their thing. Good. Have something that you like to watch. There's nothing wrong with that. Adam says, I know I'm the only champion for it, but Westworld is amazing. I'm sure Nick Caputo.
Yeah, about to
would
say
be
Nick
right
has
behind you.
advocated that show too for
I have a lot of friends.
I've talked-
Justice is one.
I've talked with both of them about it. They both say it's so good.
He goes on to say it's my fave show and the
Totes
last
adorbs.
10 years without a doubt.
When did he become
Insecure. No, that was like a posh
Morgen.
girl. Also, Insecure gets a shout out from me. Great comedy from a very funny black woman. Might not be for everybody, but I loved it. Just my thoughts in case anyone wanted them. You're welcome. So,
I do want to watch Westworld.
I
though.
do too, and it's an HBO show, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that's why I haven't watched it. The only thing I watch on HBO is Game of Thrones. So, is Game of Thrones? Yeah, Game of Thrones. Why?
Whoa.
Oh, whoa. Okay, that changes some things.
That's true. I completely forgot about
Hey.
Game of Thrones.
I was going to go with something like
I need to watch
nobody
that.
was going to go for, but now thinking about that, oh,
I need to
God.
watch the last season as well.
Oh, it's really good. So looking at the list, adding Game of Thrones and House of Cards, what do y'all think is the premiere show that you just cannot get past this year? You got to go and watch it right after this.
My personal opinion, and it's going to sound a little bit biased because I love all the DC CW shows, and I love CW in general. I would have to go Arrow, just like my personal thing, like just from 9 episodes that we've gotten, like not like even including the crossover episode because it was the 100th episode that they did this year.
Yeah.
They have knocked it out of the park from beginning to end. Like I know both Robbie and Derek and I all talked about like the premieres of Arrow, and we were all just blown away by how much different the tone shifted. Because season 3, I like season 3 overall. I just think it was bad writing, especially because season 3 was Ra's al Ghul, and I think they just. I think Matt Nable, the actor who portrayed him, did a fine job. I just think the writing for him was poorly done, in my opinion. You saw the decline in season 3, and then season 4 was the magic. Like I also like Neil McDonough, like his portrayal as Damien
Yes.
Dark was fantastic.
He's a perfect bad guy.
So
Got great hair.
but
He does.
I do think yes,
I take after him.
and I like his suits. But I do think it lost steam. Like it started out great in
Yeah.
season 4, and then it just probably about after the halfway point lost steam, and then it just got repetitive, kind of like the Marvel situation, very formulaic, especially with. And I know I've talked to Derek about this, the Olicity thing. I didn't hate it as much as most people did. Now, I do. That's not saying I'm turned a blind eye to when it was overused in some episodes, but I didn't have an overall problem with it. Like people took it to the extent it's like, oh, they had a moment. They looked at each other. They had like a 2-second stern conversation. It's an Olicity moment. It's like no, it's not that extreme.
You know what we're having right now?
What technical difficulties?
A Zarek moment.
Which is
That
what?
just sounds
I'm
nasty.
looking right into your eyes. We had a moment.
Oh, yeah. So, I do. I don't think it was that pretty much like did away with season 4, but I do think like just the overall tone and the writing lost steam in season 4 to where like the season, and you saw it coming because they had a CW event in May, right, like before the season finales last year or this past year. And Stephen Amell, they did an interview, and he was like, well, this feels like more like a season finale than a series finale. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, what are you talking about? You just got renewed for season 5. Why are you saying this? Like, the show's over. And I understood what he meant after watching the season finale. He pretty much was looking at it as if he were to end each season, like if this was the last season and after it ended, would he feel good about where it ended?
Yeah.
And the way season 4 ended, he was not. He felt like this was just like a footnote rather than a chapter closing. And now I understand. So he's pretty much like he wants more effort. And then, he pretty much sat down and had a come to Jesus meeting with the writers. And look, this is what works for the show. This is what doesn't work, or what we need to stray away from. And you saw that in season 5, and it was absolutely lights out. And I cannot wait for the second half.
We'll get to that after we get through all of our
Okay.
top picks and everything.
I do want to throw this out there. Stephen Amell is an angel.
He is.
Yes, he's my man crush.
He's a beautiful man.
Yes, he is. Very nice guy. Met him back in November.
Yeah, I'm about to say I'm jealous that you got to meet him in person.
Yeah.
But a close second for me, and this is just because I watched. Because I know Robbie does, but who's watched? Well, I don't know if Zach, you've seen season 1. Have you watched Legends of Tomorrow at all?
Curse you.
Not this season, no.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna non-spoiler. Season 2 of Legends has vastly improved as well. Like, I know I think you, Robbie, talked on it about how much it's changed. Like, Vandal Savage from season 1. They pretty much shifted the plot and a lot of just the repetition and just has changed a lot of season 2. So Legends gets my close runner-up for best TV show.
You know what they could do for Legend of Tomorrow? Just go back before it ever happens.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
Technically they do in the show because they time travel like to the early 1900s.
there's one episode in Legends of Tomorrow that has become one of at least a top 2, top 3 favorite episode of any CW show. It's not giving it away, but it takes place during the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of my favorite episodes, and
just the emotional factor.
Yeah, DC has done. Yeah, I mean, CW has done a great job with these elements, and
It's DC. You can give DC props.
DC's also done well. I mean, as all of them together, I was going to say Legends of Tomorrow was going to be my show of the year, only because of them going from the Vandal Savage over and over and over again, the repetition there, to becoming a show where I thoroughly looked forward to every week watching the new episode of Legends of Tomorrow, because I didn't know what was going to happen in that episode. Who we were going to meet, what heartstring it was going to tug on. But it's unfortunately not going to be it, because something was brought up that touched me even more.
Touched him.
And I will also say the mid-season finale, like that big showdown, like for the first time in the season, was fantastic. So, but I'll let you guys have the floor now. I'm done. So.
I got to go with Stranger Things. It was something that
So good.
I think was a very nice shakeup.
Shout out to Netflix.
Yes. Well, I haven't said that in a long time.
I got you.
As being someone who grew up on 80s sci-fi and 80s suspense type movies, this felt like if it had been made in like 1984 or 1985, it would have fit in perfectly.
Yeah.
From the music, the intro style with the moving text, it reminded me of the opening of the first Terminator movie. The acting, I thought Winona Ryder was annoying to the point where I wanted to jump through the screen and shake her and say, "You're a terrible parent." But she did amazing at it. Like, it's the best acting that I've seen her do. It had everything. It had the Goonies. It had E.T. It had Gremlins. It had all of those 80s cult movies all rolled up into one. And I can't wait for season 2.
Oh yeah,
with-
season 2 is going to be awesome.
Without a doubt, like it's. I loved season 2 of Daredevil. I thought John Bernthal was amazing as the Punisher.
Yeah.
You know,
And
Arrow,
he's the reason we're getting a spinoff show.
yes. I thought Arrow was great. I loved
Yeah.
seeing it, go back to its roots and what made it so great in season 1 and season 2. Oldest Young Guy Award, Jobin. Thank you. I like that. Yeah, I just Stranger Things tugged at the childhood heartstrings. So without a doubt, Stranger Things is my show of the year.
I just need that. Just affirms one thing with all the Marvel, and now with Stranger Things, I need to get Netflix.
Yep.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
So
definitely. Robbie?
I'm gonna have to say Game of Thrones is my show of the year because that last season alone had put so many things in motion. And
Hold the door.
shh, I haven't seen it.
I just said hold the door.
Yeah, the computer's holding the door open. Good Hodor. But it was well done. A lot of really good action. I don't want to ruin a lot of things that happened in it. But one thing I will say is zigzag. Come on, you don't run in a straight line.
I can't wait for the next season to come back to do more reacts. Like I think
That was fun.
my favorite part of the season is us getting to sit down and do reacts of the episodes. So Game of Thrones for you.
Game of Thrones.
Ooh, it's hard for me, guys.
There's so many good things.
I really, really enjoyed House of Cards season 4. I think it was one of the best since season 2. Season 1 still, I think, the best.
Yeah, season
seasons
1
of House of Cards. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I haven't seen season 4, so I can't speak on that. But just from the first 3 seasons, the first 1.5, technically, I guess. I don't. Season 2 overall was solid, but I don't think it was. Season 1, I agree, is still the best. Season 3 was just kind of like a Walking Dead moment where it just was like a slow drag.
It was very slow. I think it was doing a lot of building towards that 4th season because they
Yeah.
knew it was coming, and season 4 delivers like
Blew
nonstop.
my mind.
So I enjoyed highly, and still one of our best viewed videos. I got to be in the Oval Office. Really enjoyed Luke Cage. I haven't even mentioned Luke Cage, and I'm just
haven't watched it yet.
Luke Cage is
Really?
a fantastic.
Just haven't sat down and watched it.
Robbie almost had a moment like, I don't think we can be friends anymore.
No. There's not ever a moment that I can't be friends with Derek. But it's definitely a movie you need to go see.
You mean series?
Series, whatever.
Yeah, I think
Same thing.
I think it's
Yeah. Right.
great. The action, having God, what is her name?
Rosario Dawson.
Right.
There you go. Rosario Dawson in there was great to have her see her crossover, not just Daredevil, but Jessica Jones, and now Luke
Rent.
Cage, and now I'm sure she'll be on
And
Iron Fist
yeah.
as well.
And probably the Defenders.
And my good friend Finn Jones going to be on Iron Fist.
Former Nerd Cave guest Finn
yeah,
Jones.
me and him go out for drinks every now and then.
An occasional steak
You
dinner.
drink chocolate milk at the bar? Because I've done that.
No, because I would be sick. I'm
That is
lactose
true.
intolerant.
Yeah.
And then you have, of course, you have Daredevil season 2.
Yep.
Phenomenal season. Getting to see the Punisher, getting to see his motivations, everything behind it.
Another good hallway scene.
And then, yeah, and then you get to see Elektra. You get to see this universe's Elektra, and it's way better than that Jennifer crap that we got.
Jennifer
I
Garner?
loved her
Yeah.
spin-off movie.
So it's kind of hard for me to pick. And of course, you have Game of Thrones season 6, which I think is much better than season 5. Like it suffered from those slow seasons
Yeah.
that other shows have, and it's of course and later on in there. But Stranger Thing kind of sticks out for me because it's this new property, and we're always complaining about it. It's always a
Sequel or reboot.
sequel or a reboot or something. So we're getting those new things, those new properties, and I think Netflix does such a great job of that. So I'm gonna have to give Stranger Things my top TV show of 2016 as well.
Hopefully that some of the cast will be future Nerd Cave guests because McLaughlin.
You're talking about Pensacon?
Yeah.
The teacher, the AV teacher, is going to be there, and someone else will be there as well.
The little kid.
Yeah, they've already confirmed that.
Oh yeah.
There's no other way to tell you who he is but the black kid.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
not,
Robbie.
Not being racist, but I think his last name is McLaughlin.
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Now we had a question from Quentin. He said, "Let me ask a question: Who does superheroes better, Netflix or CW?"
Let me. All right, so I'm gonna go
I'm
say.
talking about shows.
Yeah, shows. Yeah. See, here's my thing, and like I said, the only Netflix-esque show I've watched is House of Cards, and it comes on DVD, Blu-ray. So I use that cop out to watch that show. I don't have Netflix, so I can't speak on it. But just from the hype, it sounds like Marvel has done more, and they do more with less because CW does a lot of their shows in 20+ episodes, unless you're Legends, which they've only done it in like 17. But Marvel does 13 episode seasons, and they absolutely nail each and every episode. Like, it's just one continuing plot point.
Adam, there was no other way to describe him.
I'm sure he's making a joke.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. But
But it's hard for me to actually have an honest opinion without being somewhat biased. I mean,
Yeah.
I think CW does a lot of good things. Like I think they hunkered down now with adding Supergirl to their lineup and just adding that universe, all those universes together. They've done a lot better this year, but I think just as overall like wow factor, I would have to go, even though I've not seen any of them, Marvel, just because of for the fact that people talk about it constantly and are like praise it constantly.
My side of it is, I think CW paved the way for Netflix to be successful. They
Yeah.
paved the way for having a darker show with Arrow being the first one out of the gate, and then you see Marvel stumble and fall. No offense for people that enjoy that crap show that's
Agents
called
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Hey, look, the Ghost Rider, the first half with Ghost Rider was great.
I don't care.
Well, I
don't
know you
care.
don't
The
care.
first
what he said.
the first season was god awful bull.
If you power through it and watch season 2, then come
power
back
through
to
it.
me.
I don't want to have to power through something.
Well, you're gonna have
Sometimes
to
you just
look,
gotta do it.
Look, son, you're gonna have to power through Arrow season 4.
I'm actually enjoying season 4.
Well, power through the second half and come back to me.
Second half, he's right. It's not the greatest.
So I think CW, without CW actually doing what they've done, Netflix would not be as successful. I think they would do well, but I think you have to look at Netflix is a totally different thing. It is kind of like HBO on cocaine. It has a much bigger budget. It has a lot more time to dedicate to it.
They don't care about ratings or
Yeah.
like mature or like content.
Yeah, they're not having to do any of that. And plus, they're not having to deal with the scheduling that they do with network TV shows. So you have to crank out so many episodes to fill a season. That's why Arrow has a lot of filler or
Yeah.
Flash has filler. It's because they have to have 22, 24 episodes
Yeah.
each season
Yeah.
where you can get away with 13 episodes
it's-
and being an hour long on
And going
Netflix.
back to just the availability, like Netflix, when a new season of like Daredevil or when Iron Fist and Availability drops, it'll be that day. You can see an entire season that day or that weekend. Whereas Arrow, Flash, and all the other CW shows, you have to wait each week, and then there are breaks. Like right now, we're on break to like late January for the shows, and then
That hurts.
this is a love-hate relationship I have with CW, because CW's ultimately has become one of my favorite channels because I watch so many shows that they put out on that station. But the one thing I hate is this. It'll be this time of year that when it starts out the new season in the fall, it's like boom, 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 break on Tuesdays for like Flash or whatever because of Election Day or whatever, and then you have the back half, like the mid-season break, and then you come back and they want to stretch it out till May. They want to have these shows last until May, and they'll have a few episodes, 3 or 4 week break. 1 or 2 episodes in, have another like 2 or 3 week break, and I'm like, just stop. Just let me just see the whole thing in succession. I don't want to have to wait. So, and it breaks down the filming for a lot of it too.
Yeah, I agree. Having that wait, that's why I like to wait for things to come on to Netflix to binge it. It's just much easier for me
Yeah.
time-wise. I don't have that time during the
Yeah.
week, especially during March and season.
The other thing I will say that CW does well At least between the Netflix, like now they're going to do something different now with Marvel. And or like now with DC now with the CW shows, where as soon as like what is it 2 weeks after the season finale, the whole season will be up on
8
Netflix.
days, I want to say.
So it'll be fun. But at least with CW, like I know Robbie, you caught up on like Supergirl and Legends and whatnot. But if I miss, like if I have to go work the night of a new episode premiering, if I miss it, I can watch it the next day, like recap it, so I don't have to wait for Netflix to watch, like wait till it comes on Netflix to see the whole season for episodes I missed. I can watch it the next day.
Or you can watch
The
it on
availability,
Admit
I will say, the availability is a lot better.
What plugging that thing again?
Me. The Admit Me lets me watch it whenever I want
Jesus
to.
Christ,
like
man.
Netflix.
No more plugging that.
Stop it.
Okay, so let's sound off on what we think, CW or Netflix.
I would go Netflix, just because they don't have a filter, and they can go as dark as they want to with the shows.
It's hard, but I'm gonna go CW because I'm just so immersed in those universes. Not only, Netflix has some great stuff. I love everything that they've put out, but I just feel like with the CW superhero shows, not only that, but going into Supernatural and iZombie, they love their properties, and you see that. You see Supergirl season 1. Pretty rough at times.
Well, that was CBS. They limited
Exactly.
a lot of creative rights.
Season 2 of Supergirl on CW. Love it. Great show. And you see them, give the shows the time and the love that they need. And so I'm going to go CW.
I'm going to say Netflix because of reasons that Derek Daniel said.
This is, I guess, where I can tie it or break it right here.
You can.
I'm going to go with Netflix just because Daredevil Season 1 was just fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
First hallway scene we got.
That one take hallway scene.
Yeah.
So that's just
The
amazing
car
to
door.
me.
That's all I'm gonna. Because I did watch that scene because I have watched part. I tried to watch at a friend's house part of Daredevil, and I at least got to that scene with the car door. Yeah.
Wilson Fisk. Oh my God.
Such good stuff.
Yeah.
He was in Magnificent Seven, and he did a magnificent
I need to watch
job.
I need to watch that.
It's a Magnificent Seven and done
So-
a magnificent job.
One of my favorite westerns.